Okay, we need some chatter going on. How's everybody doing? Everybody ready to list a house? You can unmute yourself if you want to say something.
I got a listing agreement, most likely going to be signed yesterday. Really crazy experience. I met this man through cold calling an expired list, and went on a listing appointment with him about 6 months ago, and he wasn't ready. I told him I couldn't, probably get him the value he was looking to get, and he referred me to a friend. I ended up selling her house, and she messaged me yesterday and goes, "You need to call Clint because an agent reached out and said that it's a really good time to list his home and he's thinking about listing." Called him and then spoke to him and got the listing. So
I love your persistence. I'm on a Zoom.
You're not talking to me, right?
No, I love your persistence. Sorry, one of our mega agents just walked by, and that is really cool. One thing leads to another. I say that all the time, and when somebody says you better call, I mean that's the next thing you do.
I was driving and I was like, I'm calling him right away. Like the fact that she was willing to she was like I felt like a guardian angel, watching out.
Absolutely. Did you even really know her?
So she was the one so he connected me to her. I helped sell her house. And then an agent must have been circle prospecting, got in touch with him. And she alerted me like, "Hey, Clint's thinking about listing his home. Make sure you get in touch with him." And I'd been meaning for the past probably 4 to 5 weeks to talk to him and catch up, and I hadn't. And she totally saved me.
She was your guardian angel.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ben, I just got some chatter going, but take it away. He's still muted. Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much for getting that going. Hey, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. I'm Ben Heidenreich. I'm your instructor for the day, and also for the next 2 sessions as well. So we're going to be spending some time together. For those of you who know me, I'm at KW Buckhead. I'm an agent here, and I'm also the productivity coach. And so it's my pleasure to go through this session with you today. I guess we're going to get started here in about 5 minutes. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have just about business in general over the next, say, minute or so. And Devin Wallace is going to be facilitating for us this afternoon. She's going to get everybody's screenshot around the beginning of class. And then we're also going to have a break about 50 minutes in. We'll do 2 breaks. So we'll do a 10-minute break between 1:50 and 2 o'clock, and then we'll do another 2-minute break between 2:50 and 3 o'clock, and then we'll wrap up the afternoon after that. So on either side of the break, we'll be taking a screenshot before and after to make sure you're there. So please make sure that you don't, go off and get on a phone call or something or get distracted, because this is how you get credit for this course, is you have to be there the entire time. So welcome to the course, and we're going to have a lot of fun today talking about how to win the seller, which is what I love to do the most. So anyways, any questions? Any thoughts, ideas? Going to a party this weekend?
I'm telling you, if you can get a listing, unless it is just a dog, it will sell because they're not enough. So this is guaranteed business. Listen to everything Ben teaches you.
It's so true. And, I was just talking with a seller about that the other day, and he said, well, what's going on with price? I want to list for a higher price. And it's interesting because we've had a lack of inventory for the past 7 or 8 years, to be honest with you. And I was talking with a developer about that, And what he said is, he said, you know, Ben, what most people don't realize is we missed an entire building cycle between 07 and 12. We missed a cycle where, you know, typically there's a certain amount of inventory added to the market in the building cycle. And we missed that. Everywhere in the country did. So even though, you know, interest rates are still low and activity is still high, it doesn't necessarily mean that the price is always going to be going up, 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 because buyers can only afford what buyers can afford. There's something as it pertains to a debt to income ratio. You know, you can't outprice the buyer market. The buyer market can only afford what they can afford. So keep that in mind when you're looking at prices and people say, wow, it looks like things are moving very quickly. Why haven't our prices increased this so much over the past, say, 2 years or 3 years? Well, you know, the market in and of itself has a common income level for buyers, and that's going to determine a lot about pricing. So anyway, just a thought for you guys. All right. So here we go. Just want to make sure Devin can get what she needs. Oh, I see here we got some stuff in the chat going on. No, this is just the intro. We're getting ready to get started here in about 1 minute. All right, that's it.
Ready?
Ready to roll.
All right. All right, I'm gonna take screenshot. I'm Devin, by the way. I know y'all can't see me just yet. I have to get some things fixed up over here. I'm on vacay. So I'm about to do the screenshots if everybody can have their faces in the camera.
Turn your face on.
All right, ready? We're gonna do the first one. Oh, hold on. All right, here we go. You got, I see you brushing your hair. All right,
Sarah
Ready?
Black, smile.
here we go. Cheese. All right. All right, cool. 2 screens. All right. Thank you.
All right, guys, let's get started. So welcome to today's session, which is Ignite Power session number 4. It's Win the Seller. And this is something that you're going to need to spend a lot of time thinking about, because just like in any business, if you don't have inventory, you're out of business. And in the real estate business, our inventory are listing agreements and ultimately listings. Now, we also take buyer listings, so to speak, which are buyer brokerage agreements. And at the same time, you know, a buyer can decide, hey, you know, maybe I want to look at 100 homes, maybe I want to look at 1,000 homes. The great thing about working with a seller is that you do most of the work on the front end when you get the listing agreement and you get the listing agreement signed. And so once the listing agreement is signed, you get photography done, you get a lockbox on the property, you put a sign on the property, you upload the property into FMLS and fill out all the details and make a great description. And then it's listed, it's on the market. And now buyers agents are out showing their qualified buyers your listing, and you are scheduling those showings, and then you are also taking offers on your listing. It's said that the listing agent is the employer of the real estate community. And it's interesting if you think about it that way, because really not much happens unless there is a house to sell. And how do we get houses to sell? Well, we have to find sellers who are interested in selling and convince them to list their property with us. Obviously, we know that we're the best choice, but we have to discuss with them why we're the best choice, and we have to compete. That's what this business is. It's a very competitive business, and you're going to be competing for listings if you're going to be successful at winning the seller and taking listings. So let's get started off with our daily 10-4. Okay, the most fun part of this class. And honestly, guys, look, here's a thought for you. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You're in two businesses. You're in whatever business you're in, and you're in the business of lead generation. You're in whatever business you're in, and you're in the business of lead generation. I don't care if you own a carpet cleaning company. I don't care if you own a Starbucks or a restaurant or a air conditioning repair company or an online blog. Whatever it is that you do, your income's got to come from somewhere. Your income comes from clients. Leads are future clients. So somehow, some way, you have to generate leads. Now, the way that we generate leads in the real estate business, obviously, is by talking to people. So we want to make sure that we're talking to people. Now, the daily 10-4 is 10 contacts added to your database, 10 connections, right? So 10 new contacts, 10 notes per day, and then 10 homes previewed per week. So have all you guys been doing that? Kinda, sorta. So, look, there's a lot of information out there as it pertains to lead generation. And I want to tell you that it's a really popular idea to call for sale by owners, like Matthew said, expired listings, withdrawn listings. Okay, these are great data sources. And these are sources that you can always call. These are people that have basically raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm interested in selling. And either I don't think I need a real estate agent, or I already hired a real estate agent, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I don't know why they didn't get my home sold. Here I am, right? Now, here's something to know about these data sources. Number one, every real estate agent in the freaking city is calling them, all right? I recently withdrew a listing just to redo the photography and put it back on the market. Guy says he's been getting 50 calls a morning, okay? So just because you're calling expired and withdrawn listings and for sale by owners, look, it shouldn't make you nervous because so many other people out there are doing it. It's a call that you need to make, but it cannot be your entire strategy. It cannot be your entire lead generation, lead development strategy. As a matter of fact, it should really only represent about 25% of your lead generation time. Okay, if you think of a pie chart, right, and then a little corner, 25% of it should be expired, withdrawn, for sale by owner. What's the next question? Well, then who else should I call, Ben? Who is the other 75% that you're talking about? And what's really going on here? Because everybody's talking about expired, this, that, and the other thing. Look, you can make money calling expired listings. You can make money calling for sale by owner listings. As a matter of fact, I would recommend that you do call them every single day. And at the same time, if you're keeping up with these people, if you're calling the new ones every single day, it's only going to take you about an hour to get through it. And we all know that we need to be lead generating 4 hours per day. So if you're lead generating 4 hours per day and it only takes you an hour to get through the expired, withdrawn, and for sale by owners, then you've got 3 hours left, right? So,
Ben,
yes.
sorry, when you have a second, you do have somebody's trying to talk, and I'll get them in a second, but you do have a question. Can you give them one of your scripts for expireds and FSBOs?
Yeah, sure. you know, expireds and for sale by owners, guys, they're just people, okay? They're just people just like you, you know? And they have something that they're trying to get done. They're trying to get your home sold. I use the example all the time. Have you ever tried to sell anything on your own? You ever tried to sell a car or a cell phone or a watch, or you ever had a garage sale or anything like that? Guys, let's be honest, it sucks, okay? It's no fun. It's horrible. You know, and you go into it, what do you go into it thinking? I'm talking about for sale by owners right now. You go into it thinking, oh man, you know, heck, my car is the bomb. I'm just going to take a few shots of it with my cell phone, and then I'll put it up there, and I'm going to get more than the dealership down the road is going to give me for a trade. And with that extra couple $1,000, man, I could do a lot with that money, right? And then you go out and you take the pictures of the car and you put it up online, and you got all these weirdos calling you, wanting to come over and test drive your car. And you're like, wait a minute, this isn't really what I expected. I thought somebody was just going to send me a check. Guys, for sale by owners, okay, there are a certain number of them that are going to get the job done, but 93% of them list with a realtor within the first 30 days. You have to know that. 93% are going to list. It's a fact. They are going to list their house, or they're going to sell it on their own, regardless of what you do or what you say. Either so we have to go into a conversation with a for sale by owner understanding two things. Either they are going to A, list it with somebody, or B, they're going to sell it themselves. Okay. Now, let's say A, they list it with somebody. Well, you hope that that person is you. You don't want it to be your friend. Okay, you want it to be you. Here's the thing. In real estate, first place pays all the money. Guess how much money second place pays? Zero, guys. Nothing. So you don't want someone down the, oh, they're a great agent. Yeah, they'll do a good job. Hey, I hope I'm that person. And me and you can high five all day, every day. And I'll make all the money and you'll be there to support me. Guys, come on. This is a competitive business, okay? We want to win. We're here to win. We're in competition. We want to win. If someone puts their home up for sale by owner, they are in the mindset, hey, I'm going to do this on my own, right? So regardless of that, what kind of scripts can you use with them? Hi, it's Ben Heidenreich. I'm calling about the home that you have for sale. Are you the owner? Yes, I'm the owner. Okay, great. Is the home still available? Yes, it is. Fantastic. I'm calling because I specialize in this area of town, and I just wanted to see what I might be able to do to help you get this home sold. Well, I don't know, Ben, maybe bring me a buyer. Okay, cool. Maybe I can bring you a buyer. Let me ask you this. Are you protecting buyer's agents with a 3% commission? Yes, we are. No, we're not. Whatever that is. So you have to continue. Guys, it might take 7 or 8 times calling a for sale by owner. You're just having conversations with them, guys. Don't be the person that calls and says, hello, I am doing a survey of for sale by owners in the area, and I am calling to see when are you going to hire the right agent for the job of selling your home. Mr. I'm sorry, I can't read your last name. Mr. Schneider? Is it Schneider or Schneider? Or Schneidinger? Hello? Is anyone there? I mean, guys, come on. Let's be honest here, okay? How much money are you asking them to give you? Has anybody thought about this? Does anybody think about what the dollar amount is for the commissions that you're asking for? Because the seller is that's how they're thinking of it. They're going, 3%. What is that? My house for $600,000, $3%, $18,000. Wait, I gotta pay them 6%. I gotta pay them $36,000. And you guys are like, yeah, is this Mr. Schneidinger? Or hello? Guys, let's get real here. So we have to practice our scripts and dialogues. We have to internalize the scripts and dialogues. What I say isn't what you're going to say. I mean, I can tell you what I say, but see, what I say is said in the way that I say it. And I'm going to say it differently than you're going to say it because we have different styles because we're different people. So I can take, it's like this. If Bobby Flay gave you the recipe for his steak and you followed the recipe, is it going to taste just like it does when Bobby Flay cooks it? No. 5 different people is going to taste 5 different ways, even though they're using the same exact ingredients and instructions. So the scripts that we have in the Ignite material, the scripts that we have on our KW jump drives, on KW Connect, and there are plenty of scripts all over the place for how to deal with buyers, expireds, for sale by owners, withdrawn. We have to internalize these scripts because you don't want to sound like the script. You want to sound like yourself, but you want to ask the questions that you need to ask to get the information that you need to get. I would propose to you that as long as human beings have been around, they've needed shelter. Is that fair? And as long as human beings have needed shelter, there has been someone there to help the process of bringing one person into a shelter. In other words, even back in the cave days, I bet there was realtors, okay? They might not have called them realtors, but somebody was there to help facilitate the transaction, okay? Maybe you're trading like a piece of gold and, you know, a lion tooth or something. But the point is that, guys, for sale by owners, expired listings, withdrawn listings, they haven't thought of anything new to say since that time. They say the same things over and over and over again, okay? They have nothing new to say. They all, an expired listing, they say the same thing. Call 100 of them right now. I guarantee you get the same. So you have to learn what to say in response to that. You have to learn how you're going to say it. And there's plenty of scripts to give you that information.
Ben,
Yeah.
can you further explain protecting buyer agents at 3%, please?
So a lot of for sale by owners guys have the mindset that they're not going to pay anybody anything. The reason why we ask if you're going to be protecting buyer's agents for 3% is because I want to know whether or not they're planning on paying any commission at all. If I see that they're already planning on paying 3%, great. I only have a 3% gap to close. If I've got somebody who's not even willing to pay 3%, I'm going to have a lot harder time getting them to commit to 6%. Does that make sense? So the reason I ask if they're protecting buyer's agents is so I know where their mindset is as it relates to paying commission. And that's a very important thing to know, because if you're dealing with someone who's decided, hey, I'm not paying anybody anything, well, guess what? Are they wasting their time or are they wasting your time? See, you can't let people waste your time, guys. We don't have time for that. This business is so tough, especially tough to get started in, okay? If you are not prospecting 3 to 4 hours a day right now, you're going to have a really tough time getting going in this business. And I know a lot of you guys have like second jobs and that kind of thing. And that's okay, but you have to commit to a lead generation regimen. There in every business, it doesn't matter what business it is, there are 2 sides. There's the development side and the service side. Okay? Most people get into real estate thinking service. Service is showing houses. Service is negotiating contracts. Service is doing all of the things that are required in order to actually get a home sold after you've had a listing contract signed with a seller or a buyer brokerage agreement signed with a buyer. The buyer brokerage agreement signature and the listing agreement signatures, everything that leads up to that point, that is the business development side of real estate. So whether you have another job or whether you're full-time, you have to realize that business development comes before servicing business. Like Matthew was saying earlier, he called an expired listing. The guy didn't want to sell, but he did a good job for the guy. So the guy referred him to one of his friends. Matthew was able to get that listing and sold that listing. Now, he can't sell the listing before he gets the listing. You can't sell a buyer a house before they sign a buyer brokerage agreement. So all of your work in the beginning and really for the rest of your career, you have to carve out a time, and I recommend the morning, where you're going to focus on lead generation, okay, or business development. And that has to happen every single day. And with that in mind, that's what we're about to get to right now is the 10-4, okay? So let's go ahead and knock out 20 minutes, guys, of 10-4, and we'll jump back on the call in 20 minutes here. It's 1:20 right now. Let's pick up our phones. Let's get out there and start dialing. Now, listen, when I say 25% expired, withdrawn, for sale by owner, that means there's a whole lot of other people to call. And guess what? There's other ways to communicate with people as well. You have email, you have text, you have video. Who's sending some expired listings and some for sale by owners text video? Think about it. What about neighborhoods? Is there an area of town that you're focused on? We've just listed just sold calls that you can make. Hi, I see a home just went on the market down the street from you, just calling to see if you're interested in selling. Hi, I see a home just sold down the street from you. I'm calling to see if you're interested in selling. That's unlimited. You're only going to get a certain number of an expired, drawn, for sale by owner listings every single day, guys. Also, what about this? What about this thing right here called the telephone? How many numbers do you have in this phone right here? How many contacts? Guys, everybody lives somewhere. All right. So let's kick it off. 20 minutes. We're going to make some calls. The goal, I have 1,825 people in here. It tells you down at the bottom. 1,825. How many do you have? Plenty of people to call, guys. So 20 minutes. Let's make some phone calls, and we'll be back on, and then we'll have some further discussion before we go on our break. All right? Let's get after it, guys.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
What if I need I'm using my phone for the Zoom. What if I need to use my phone for the cold calling? What should I do? Log off the Zoom and do that, or?
Oh.
Well, you don't need to log off the Zoom because then you won't get credit for the time that you're spending on here. So I would recommend that you spend some time sending out text messages to people and potentially emails to people.
All right.
What's your name?
I'm Lucas. I'll just get on my email. It's fine.
Yeah, hey, it's Lucas. Starting a real estate company. Wanted to let you know you're one of my trusted contacts in my database. Just calling to see, or just sending you a message to see if you know anybody I may be able to help, or if I may be able to help you anytime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Guys, also social media, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, direct messaging people on Instagram, Facebook. That's another way to go. It's all about you reaching out to them. If you reach out to them enough, one day they will begin to reach out to you. But you're the one who has to put the fuel. You got to put the wood in the stove if you want to fire, right? So you have to take that initial approach. You have to take that initial outreach and let them know what it is that you're doing.
Ben, I might have missed it. Did you go over the authorization to show with the FISBO? You don't need to do it now, obviously.
No, not yet.
Okay. So I always forget about that.
There's another session where I'll go through that.
Word.
All right, guys, great job. Let's get back to it here. Any success with regard to lead gen right now? Anybody set an appointment? Get in touch with anybody, have a good conversation, send out a message and get a response. Anything great happen?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So I called an old friend, and it just so happens that he's actually looking to buy at this very moment. His lease expires September for his apartment. And yeah, he says, wow, you just called me at the perfect moment and you knew exactly what I needed. So we're going to make an appointment to meet up and try to get the process started.
That's freaking killer, Ebony. And have you spoken with him prior to right now? Have you let him know you're in real estate or anything like that yet?
I don't believe so. I think this was probably the first time I told him.
And what did you say to him when you called?
I just called and wanted to catch up and asked him how he's been, what's been going on. He's kind of like in the sports world, so we talked about that with how they're going to be going about, you know, the NBA and stuff, those games. And yeah, it kind of just happened organically. The conversation just transitioned, and he asked how I've been doing. And I was like, well, I don't know if I told you, but I'm in real estate now. I just got my license. It's going great. I love it.
Yeah.
Super busy, but I can't complain. It's awesome. And he was like, what? That's great. You know, I'm looking for a place. And I was like, oh, that's what I said. I was like, are you still at the same place? Because I know where he's been living for a few years now. And I think I probably talked to him like before I got my license. And
Yeah.
he told me time to move. I can't remember. So, and he was like, yeah, I'm actually looking for a new place. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. I want kind of a townhome or a condo. And I was like, that's great. Like, let's meet up. Let's catch up. And, you know, I would love to be of service to you. Let's talk about what you're looking for. And, you know, hopefully I can be the right person to help you get what you need.
That's awesome. So that's a great example of exactly what this is all about, guys. It's not about being some, you know, slick closer salesperson that a lot of people think you have to be. That's not it. It's about being yourself. Okay. We're in the database building and maintaining business. What we do in real estate is we build and maintain a database. Now, there's 4 rules to your database, okay? 4 rules to your database. Number 1, you know them. Number 2, they know you. Number 3, you like them. Number 4, they like you. Now, Ebony, does this person match all of those 4 criteria?
Yes, sir.
And therefore, they want to work with Ebony. See, the people who you know, that know you, who you like, who like you, want to work with you. They want to see you do well. I'm not talking about your haters. I'm not talking about, you know, whoever it is that you don't want to call. Guys, if you don't want to call them, delete them. Get them out of there. What good are they? What good are they? If you don't like them, get them the hell out of the way. If they don't like you, get them out of the way. Maybe you have a number, you go, who is Josh? Who's Josh? I don't even know who that guy is. You know, I must have put their number in my phone 2 years ago at the nightclub, and I don't even know who they are. Yet I'm counting them as being someone in my database, and that's just, guys, it's just, there's so many ways to get caught up in this business, okay? Don't let it happen to you, because here's what's going to happen. If you can get your database down to people who just meet those 4 criteria, and you can properly keep in touch with them, which is 8 times a year. You need to be talking to them 8 times a year, okay? 10% of them will send you business.
Can you say the criteria again? I was responding.
So 10% of them will send you business every year. The criteria is, you know them, they know you, you like them, they like you.
Oh. That's basic.
Seems like a pretty easy thing, but I guarantee you, if you scroll through your phone right now,
Right.
you're gonna go, I
I'm
don't really
deleting
like
a
that
lot.
person.
Yeah.
I don't really know who that is, or yeah, I know who they are, but maybe they don't really. I mean, if I call them right now, are they going to say, "Oh, hey Ben, what's happening, man?" See, for the people who meet those 4 criteria in your life, you really only have to tell them you're in real estate a couple times, guys. I mean, think about your friends. Do you know what they do? Do you have any of your friends that call you and say, "Hey, man, just want to let you know what's going on in the car market. Just want to let you know what's going on in the insurance market. Want to let you know what's going on in the financial markets. Want to let you know what's going on, whatever." See, guys, look, you have to stay in contact with the people that you know, who know you, who you like, and who like you. That's your gold mine. All these expired listings and for sale by owners, look, the only reason to call those people is to add them to your database. Sure, you might do a deal with them right now, but guess what? You're not going to do a deal with them if they don't like you. See, we're trying to come across when we prospect as someone who you like. Hey, I want to get to know this person. I like this person, right? I like them. I want to get to know them. Yeah, sure, I'd give them a shot at getting my house sold. I like them. See, people want to work with people that they like. So the idea behind calling it expired is not necessarily to build your entire empire off of expireds. It's to add people to your database. Add a past client to your database. See, once you list and sell their home, they become a past client. And that's a part of your database too. Does what I'm saying make sense to you guys? And then we're about to go on a 10-minute break.
I called a, oh, go ahead.
Thank you.
Well, I'll share my experience if I'm on now. I'm not sure. But I was just calling, close friends because we were told to start there. So I called a good colleague of mine who I work with in the education field. And I already know he's actually under contract right now. He's getting a house developed now. But I still wanted to just let him know that, I just obtained my real estate license. Obviously, he already knew the information. He was excited about it. But I came from a place of contribution because although he's buying a house now, he was concerned that he couldn't, because of his current investment in the house, that he was probably spread too thin to look for investment properties. So he was trying to find avenues in which he could possibly extend some credit, whether it be like an LLC, to actually look into some investment properties. So I told him, I just shared the information that I had with him. And I said, well, what I'll do is I'll share my app with you so you can just be formal about what's going on in your area. And what I'll do is I'll set up a meeting next Monday and we'll talk more about what you've asked me. And I'll go to my resources and figure out what information I can bring to the table. So I'll ask the questions that he wants to be answered. I'll get those answers and I'll bring them back to him on Monday. I'll place a contribution. And then, moving forward, obviously he's agreed to refer me to other people who he knows is looking to buy or sell, and just kind of just nurturing that relationship. So although we've already been friends, he's already in the process of buying a house. I showed that I'm a resource to him in that field. And, we're looking to meet next week to talk more about his investment property ideas.
Very cool, man. Great job, Brian. Hey, all right, guys, look, it's 1:51. We're going to come back here at like 2:02. I'm going to go ahead and give Devin like a minute to get all you guys screenshots done. We'll break from 1:52 to 2:02. So please turn your camera on, guys, so we can get your shot before the break. And then we'll take your shot again at 2:02. So smile for the camera. No, I'm just messing with you. But I'll see you guys back at 2:02, okay?
All right, you're ready? Ish. I'll give y'all a little more time. Okay, cool. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Right when you started drinking, Ben. Hold on, one more for the second half. All right, I see you fixing your hair. Do your thing. Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Is that everybody? I just want to make sure I got everybody's face in it. Hold on. I'm going to do one more for Thank you, Christina. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Enjoy your break.
10 minutes, guys. See you back at 2:02.
So hungry. We are heading out. Okay.
Ben? Ben,
Yes.
I feel like a peeping Tom.
Sorry?
I said, I feel like a peeping Tom, like watching you just do your thing in private, but I don't want to leave the Zoom call. So I'm watching you. I just want you to know that.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay, thank you.
You want me to do this?
Yes, thank you. May I ask you a quick question? Oh goodness, like leave me the hell alone. Okay, let me go.
All right, guys, 2:02. Please get back on board and we'll have Devin get the screenshots going.
While we're waiting for the screenshots, may I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
When you go under contract, do you wait until after the due diligence period to change your status from active to under contract?
It's a good question. You're supposed to change it as soon as you go under contract. That's what you're supposed to do. Whether or not you do is really up to you. So there's kind of two answers there. You're supposed to put it active under contract, which means that it's still active, but it's under contract. You move it to pending status as soon as you are through with your due diligence and contingencies. Now, if you are active under contract, that still means you could take a backup offer. I mean, you could take backup offers all the way to up to the day of closing. My best recommendation for you is that you look at accepting contracts which you feel like have a high likelihood of closing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, any other questions before we get started? Any questions?
Ready? Hi, baby. So cute.
Heard something.
Oh, sorry. That's me talking to my mom's dog. Sorry.
Down, doggy, down.
It's so cute. All right,
Devin, are you
ready?
good to go?
I'm always good to go to sleep. Just kidding. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And one more for the second group. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. That did not work. Okay. I guess it did. All right, cool. Here we go.
All right, guys. So you're always going to have more leads than appointments, more appointments than agreements, and more agreements than contracts. Okay, so if you look at page 11 in your Ignite manual, you see there's a lead funnel there. And that's going to show you really the difference. Now, if you're making calls and you're reaching out to people, you're doing that to generate leads. Now, a lead is only as good as the appointment that you set. I have a saying, and the saying is there's only one reason to make a phone call, and that's to schedule an appointment. There's only one reason to go on an appointment, and that's to get a contract signed. Okay? And what that will tell you is that when you make phone calls, you're going to generate leads. Well, that's great. You need leads to set appointments, but really the leads are no better than the appointments that you're able to set. So you're going to have less appointments than you do leads. And then you're going to go on appointments and you're going to get agreements signed, like listing agreements signed. And then you're going to have listings. But the truth is you're not going to be able to get every single person that you meet with to sign the listing agreement. So you're ultimately going to have less listing agreements signed than you do appointments. And then not every one of your listings is going to sell. So you're going to have less contracts than you do listings, and not every one of your contracts are going to close. So you're going to have less closings than you do contracts. So with that being the case, you should see that it really is important that you're doing something to develop business every single day that you are working effectively. For those of us who work in full-time, 5-6 days a week, some people 7 days a week, this should be no problem. If you begin working every day and you lead generate 3 to 4 hours a day, and you practice and you study your scripts, and you call, you set up a geographic area for yourself, you set up a farm for yourself, you become an expert in that area of town, you get all of the phone numbers for all the people who live in that area of town, you call and you update them, you work your database, meaning that you get rid of all the people who don't meet the 4 criteria, and you call all the people who do meet the 4 criteria every 8 weeks. and you work expired, withdrawn, for sale by owner, and just listed and just sold calls every single day, guys, you're going to have no problem in this business. No problem whatsoever. Most people get into this business because they want to be their own boss, yet they're not disciplined enough to be their own boss. Okay? A lot of people say, I want to be my own boss, but then you're like, hey, you want to go to, what do you think? Should we do sales calls today? I don't know, man. What do you think? I don't know. I'm not really feeling like it. You know, maybe let's do it tomorrow. Okay, cool. Well, tomorrow's Friday. Maybe let's just get back going next week. Yeah, that'd be cool. See what I'm saying? That's a lot of times the conversation that you have with your current boss, i.e. the person that you're looking at in the mirror. Guys, you have to have discipline. You have to have the ability to set a schedule. The only way that this business works is if you follow a schedule consistently and you consistently generate business. Now, this particular session is called Win the Seller, but you have to get in front of the seller before you're going to win the seller. You have to call the seller first. Then you got to set an appointment with them. Then you have to pre-qualify them. Then you have to get a pre-listing package put together for them. Then you got to go meet with them and interview for the job. And then you've got to get them to sign the listing agreement, which at that point, now you have a listing. Now you have the ability to go get their home sold and make money. So from that perspective, does anybody need help with the schedule that they need to follow every day? Or does everybody have a good idea of what that looks like? All right. So here's what your schedule should look like. Now look, if you work another job, you're just going to have to figure it out. I worked another job when I started in real estate. You know how I figured it out? I worked like 16, 18 hours a day. I'd go work my first job, then I'd switch gears and I'd work my real estate job until I was able to get a real estate closing, and then I quit my other job, and then I was able to work only 12 hours or so a day in real estate for, say, the first 4 or 5 years that I was in the business. And guys, that's what it takes. That is what it takes. So here's what your schedule should look like. You should start your work day between 8 and 8:30 a.m. every day. You should arrive at the office between 8 and 8:30. Now, if you have a home office, then that means you should be sitting at your home office desk, dressed professionally. Now, why do we dress professionally even though we're just making phone calls? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I sound different when I'm in a freaking tracksuit than I do when I'm in a business suit. I just feel different. I feel like I look different. See, we're all judging people based on our first impression of them. We all do it, guys. We all do it. We judge people based on our first impression of them. And even though the people on the other end of the line can't necessarily see you, they can see you in the way that they hear you, in the way that you sound, in the way that you come across, and your level of professionalism. They judge you based on that, guys. I would propose to you that somebody's going to decide whether or not they like you within the first 5 seconds of picking up the call based upon what it is that you say to them. We've all been in the dating game, and I don't think I need to go too far down that path, but it's got a lot to do with how you open. It's got a lot to do with how you initially come off. It's got a lot to do with your the initial energy that you send out there. And it's the same thing here, guys. Yes, Tatiara, what's up?
If anybody wanted a demo schedule, that's the schedule that I go by on a daily.
Yeah, and that's the same schedule that I'm getting ready to roll out, because that's the schedule of a professional real estate person. Okay, 8 to 8:30, you get to the office. 8:30 a.m., you're either going to start prospecting, or you're going to do your PC power up if you have a PC power up at 8:30. Between 9 and noon, you're going to be lead generating. You're going to be prospecting, or between 8:30 and noon if you get started at 8:30. From 12 to 1, you have lunch. From 1 to 3, you're going to work on your business. That means you're going to be doing administrative work. If you need to get any paperwork done, if you need to get contacts uploaded into your command, whatever it is that you need to do to work on your business, the busy work, you do that between, say, noon and 3. You can eat lunch at your desk. So between noon and 3, you're going to work on your business. And then from 3 to 5, you have an appointment slot. From 5 to 7, you have an appointment slot. And from 7 to 9, you have an appointment slot. If you do not have an appointment booked, then you can prospect during that time. I typically tell people that, hey, if you prospected for 3.5 hours in the morning, and you prospected from 3 to 5 in the afternoon, you're good to go. But let's remember what the objective here is, guys. The objective is to set an appointment. The objective every single morning, every single day, is to fill that appointment slot in the afternoon. You got a 3 o'clock slot, you got a 5 o'clock slot, you got a 7 o'clock slot. Your objective in the morning is to fill that slot every single day. If you don't fill it in the morning, then you can fill it in the afternoon for your next day. So every single day, your job is to book appointments for yourself to go on with sellers and buyers. Does that make sense? Who's got any questions about that?
Did you put it on the screen? Did you put the schedule on the screen?
No, I didn't put it on the screen.
I have a quick question.
The one you have for PC, Ben?
Sorry?
Segment, the one that's in our PC binder? Do you want me to?
Yeah, you can put it up. I didn't put it up. I don't have it with me, but yeah, it's the same one.
I'll find it.
We'll get it up for you guys.
Ben, forgive me, what's PC stand for?
Productivity coaching.
Oh, okay.
So you should have a productivity coach in your office, and everybody runs a different type of program. But like in many cases, you'll have what's called a PC power up. It's a 30-minute call in the morning or a meeting in the morning where you talk about things relative to business development. So hopefully you guys are doing that. But again, if you're not doing that, you can just jump on and begin business development. You can begin prospecting at that time. Any other questions? All right, so now we're going to talk about pre-qualifying the seller, okay? So when you set a listing appointment, you have two things. Number one, you want to pre-qualify the seller before you go on the appointment. So when you're calling to set a listing appointment with the seller, you want to confirm the important details, including their motivation to sell. Okay, pre-qualifying the seller will help you prepare for the listing appointment and gives you insight into the mindset of the seller. It also helps you avoid wasting time on those who aren't truly serious about selling their property. The pre-qualifying process is a conversation with the goal to get to know the seller better. Use the scripts and questions provided. Okay, so on page 14, guys, on page 14 of your Ignite materials of this session, you have a little pre-qualifying script there. Now, you're not going to ask every question every time. You're going to ask the questions that are relative. How did you hear about me, for example, is a question, but you don't want to ask that to somebody if you just got done calling them because they have an expired listing. Hey, how'd you hear about me? Well, you called me, right? So a lot of times we're not going to ask every single question. One of the most powerful pre-qualifying questions that you can ask is, I'm going to call and I'm going to say, hello, Mr. Seller, it's Ben Heidenreich. I hope you're doing well today. I'm looking forward to meeting with you this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I just had a few questions to ask you before we get together. Can I go ahead and ask them now? Sure, Ben, go ahead. Okay, great. So if what I say makes sense when I come out at 3 o'clock and you feel comfortable and confident in my ability to get your home sold, are you planning to go ahead and list with me when I come out? And they might say, well, I don't know, Ben. Or maybe, or they might say no, or they might say yes, right? It doesn't really matter what they say. You just need to know this information. Another way of saying it is, hey, just so I can understand the nature of our meeting, I'm planning to bring all the relative listing documents that you'll need if you decide to hire me. Is that going to be okay for us to review those materials while I'm there? Sure, absolutely. And so is it safe to say that if I do a good job today, you're considering go ahead and hire me when I come out? Yeah, absolutely. If you do a good job, that'd be fine. Okay, great. So you don't want to get to the house, guys, and have them say something like, oh, well, yeah, you know, we're probably going to wait another 90 or 120 days or so until after my daughter graduates college and we sell our third car to put the house on the market. But thanks so much for coming out. You've really given us a lot to think about. You're really a great salesperson. We'll keep you in mind. And here you are. You wasted your entire day. You drove 45 minutes to go somewhere, and you've just wasted a lot of your own time for experience. Guys, we want good experience. We don't want bad experience. We want good experience, okay? We want experience that brings money. We're here to make money, guys. I know that a lot of you guys probably think, oh, I love architecture. I love houses. I love this. I love everything. And you know what? I'm happy for you. And I hope that you do love all those things, because that's a big part of what matters in this business. And at the same time, that's not what's required to make money. You could get somebody in this business that hates architecture and hates houses and loves to make money and loves to make sales calls, and they're going to dominate someone who just loves architecture, right? So you have to get it in your mind that you're in the lead generation business. That's what we're here to do. Pre-qualifying the listing appointment is a step that you need to take before you go and meet with them. And to be completely honest with you, the objective of that step is to cancel the appointment. And a lot of people are like, whoa, hold on a second. Why would I want to cancel the appointment? Well, you don't want to waste your time. See, it might take me, if I have a 3 to 5 appointment slot, it might take me that time to go out and sit on an appointment. Whereas if I can determine before I leave the office whether or not this is an appointment that I want to go on, then I could save myself that time. And instead, I could be prospecting to set an appointment for later this evening or tomorrow, which is actually going to be a good fit. Okay, so let's run through some of these pre-qualifying questions.
Can I ask a question really quick, Ben?
Yeah, sure.
So I guess what you're explaining feels very subjective to where you are as a real estate agent, if you don't mind me. I guess just pointing that out, because I guess as a new agent, I guess I would almost leverage that conversation in a sense that, hey, you know, if I am pre-qualifying it and they may not be willing to sign at that moment, you know, that I'm at that meeting, be like, hey, you know what, I am extremely busy, but I will find the time to come see you during this appointment. That way, I mean, I'm just kind of playing, I don't know. That way you kind of leverage the fact that you are busy, but you're still willing to fulfill that appointment to kind of maybe build some type of rapport. If you don't have, like, you know, a clientele base, now something like you have your calendar probably filled, like people need your slot. So, you know, and I don't want somebody to take advantage of my time, but I'm in a place where I can give time, use my time as a leverage and building a rapport with a potential client in the future. Now, not something I'll probably do down the road when I am busy, but early off, do you think that may be a leveraging point, but just by being transparent about that, or just no?
Well, I guess it depends on how much you value your time. See, the reason I have clients, and the reason I've been successful in this business is because I don't waste my time with people. And so if you go into the business and waste your time with people because you're new, that puts you at an incredible disadvantage as it pertains to, you know, you've got to build your business. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't meet with somebody if they said that they weren't going to sign with me. I'm just saying I want to know about that before I go to the appointment. If you want to go and meet with them, then that's on you. I mean, that's completely up to you. I mean, I can't tell you how to make the decision of whether to go or not. You're going to have to make that decision based on who it is you're going to meet with, the rapport that you've built with them, and whether or not you feel like it's worth your time to go and talk to them. Sometimes it might be, sometimes it might not. A lot of it's going to be determined by how far away they are. What kind of things they're motivated by. Is it a for sale by owner? Is it an expired? For a for sale by owner, I typically recommend people work for sale by owners closely to where they live so that they can really focus on those people. Here's a schedule for you guys.
So in a case where you have that, you're trying to pre-qualify that appointment and you determine that they may not be willing to list with you at that appointment and you potentially reschedule or back out of that appointment, does that feel like, I guess.
How about this? How about this? Let's role play real quick. You ready?
Let's do it.
You be the seller. I'll be the realtor. Ring, ring.
What do you want?
What do I want? Well, this has been Heidenreich, your real estate agent. We scheduled an appointment for me to come by and discuss with you about getting your property on the market and getting it sold. And I have an appointment down for 4 p.m. this afternoon. Is that still a good time for you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. Didn't recognize the number. I got a new phone. 4 p.m. does work for me.
Oh, okay, good. So there are a few questions that I wanted to ask you before I come out today. Can I go ahead and ask them now?
Sure.
Nice, thank you. If what I say makes sense, Brian, when I come out this evening and you feel comfortable and confident in my ability to get your home sold, are you planning to go ahead and list it with me when I get there or when I come out?
Potentially. It'd be a decision me and my wife both make.
Okay, great. And is your wife going to be there this afternoon when we come out?
She will not.
Okay, interesting. So are you guys going to be deciding on who you're going to use together?
Yes.
So do you think it might be important for us to reschedule the appointment for a time when she's there?
Well, I can always get the information and bring it back to the home front for discussion. But I can say my calendar's pretty full moving forward for the next couple of weeks.
And is your wife going to need to be there to meet the actual person that you decide to list the home with before you list the home?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so then if you decide that you want to list the home with me this afternoon, you're going to be able to go ahead and do that, or you're going to have to go talk with your wife to get her permission to hire me?
I will speak with my wife in regards to making that final decision.
Got it. Got it. And what are the types of things that you guys are using to determine whether or not you're going to hire someone?
Experience, market knowledge, things of that nature.
Okay, good. And here's my question for you. Is it possible for us to meet maybe, is your wife going to be at work during our appointment?
Yes.
Is it possible for us to meet at a time when she's not at work so we can all meet together?
But she's a nurse, so her finding the free time may not be something we want to bank on.
Okay, I understand. Okay, good. So are you going to be interviewing other agents for the job?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's awesome. And how much do you want to sell your home for?
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm really running low on time now. Can we finish this conversation later? I'm just doing that for the sake of role play. I'm sorry. It just felt lengthy.
Yeah, we could finish the conversation later. When would you like me to give you a call back?
This evening sometime works. About 7:30. Me and my wife should both be home at that time.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll call you back. You're
Thank
pretty
you, man.
tough role play partner, man. I don't really know what's going on here.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Could you have suggested a Zoom call? Like, let's just have a Saturday night date.
Sure, absolutely. You know, the idea, guys, and Brian's being tough on me for, I don't really know why, but the idea is that you get the information that you need in order to make sure you're not wasting your time. See, in Brian's case, I'm going to try somehow to get in front of the wife because she's a decision maker. So I don't want to go out and present to just Brian, knowing that Brian and his wife are going to ultimately be making the decision. If I can't get past that with Brian, I might cancel the appointment. I might. It depends. Because how do I know that Brian's not just using me to get information to use as a for sale by owner, right? So that I go over there, I give him all my comps, I give him all my information, I give him everything that he needs to now go and list the property on his own. I want to make sure that the people I'm dealing with are genuinely looking for help. See, you have to remember what our job is. Our job is to help people who need capital NEED to buy and sell real estate. Therefore, we have to go out and find them. We have to find people who really need help buying and selling real estate. And once we find those people, then we can absolutely turn it on 110%, and we can really do our job at a high level. See, I'm not going to be able to serve someone who doesn't need to get their home sold. So there's no point in me going to meet with them. Now, if I determine that I have someone, hey, maybe they're interviewing a couple agents, maybe his wife's a nurse, it's a bad schedule, whatever the case may be, I'm going to find some way to get in front of both of them so that they can make a decision at the end of my presentation. I don't want to go and give a presentation where I'm not going to have the ability to get a listing agreement signed at the presentation. Now, they may say something like, hey, we've got to think it over, and if that's the case, then that's fine. But I want to make sure up front that I discuss with them pricing, commission, whether or not they want to sell the house, whether or not they're interviewing other agents, whether or not they're considering for sale by owner, when they want to move, where they want to move to, how soon they want to get there, right? All of those things. I need to determine those things before I go out. I don't want to get to the listing appointment and then learn those things. Now I'm wasting time. See, you shouldn't be at a listing appointment for longer than 30 minutes. Every moment that you're there beyond 30 minutes, your chances of getting the listing go down significantly, okay? You want to be able to pre-qualify the listing appointment, determine that there is motivation, that there is an opportunity for you to get the listing if you go in there and you do a good job this afternoon. Then you want to go in there, take a quick look at the house, sit down, break out all your materials, break out the comparative market analysis, all of the listing documentation, discuss the comparative market analysis as it relates to their goals that you've already discussed and you know, and then come to an agreement on where to price the home to get it sold so that you can get them to where it is that they're looking to go in the amount of time that they need to be there. And if you can get that done, then you sign the listing agreement, you've got a listing, now you're good to go. Maybe you can't get that done, and that's okay too. You're not going to list every single appointment that you go on, but you want to set yourself up for success and not set yourself up for failure. Hey, Ben, I want to sell my house. Can you come over around 3? Sure, I'll be right there. Hold on. Hey, sorry, I got to go.
Would you say that there's, I guess, less invasive qualifying questions like, how soon are you looking to sell your home? That gives you an indication as to, you know, their urgency as far as selling their home, as opposed to, if I say everything correct, and I'm not challenging you being trusted, you know, I just ask a lot of questions as educated because, you know, you are proven I'm not, so I'm just trying to learn this process about how consumer may feel about, you know, not saying that's a salesy tactic, but is there other qualifying questions that may ease into that information? Like,
So
how
what
soon
would-
are you looking to sell? You know, if you say a year from now, then that's probably not an appointment I want to take because you don't have this sense of urgency. I mean, you have time. You're not looking to make a decision right now.
So yeah, there are lots of scripts that you can work with. You know, you have expired scripts, you have for sale by owner scripts, you have withdrawn scripts, you have just listed, just sold scripts, database scripts. All of the scripts that you have are going to ask those types of questions. The expired listing script, for example, is when you get your home sold, where are you planning to move to next? And when would that be? When would you like to be there? Right? So you're going to get those questions answered, hopefully, while you're setting the appointment. Pre-qualifying the appointment means you've already set the appointment, and now you're making a call between the time that you set the appointment and actually going on the appointment to really just confirm the appointment. So the pre-qualifying questions that we have here are, and this is page 14, when the seller, do you have 5 minutes so I can ask you some very important questions before I come out to meet you? Number 1, how did you hear about me? Number 2, where are you moving? Number 3, what's motivating you to move there? Number 4, how soon do you have to be there? Number 5, if we sell your home in the next 30 days, will that pose a problem for you? If yes, what would the problem be? Number 6, what would happen if your home did not sell? Number 7, how much do you want to list your home for? Number 8, how much do you owe on the property? Number 9, I'll be sending a packet of information. Will you take a few minutes to review it before we meet? Number 10, do you have any questions before we meet? Number 11, will all decision makers be there when we meet? Just so you know, our meeting will take place between blank and blank minutes. Is that okay? Perfect. I look forward to meeting with you on, whenever, at whatever time. So those are the pre-qualification questions that we need to ask before we go on the appointment, guys. And these are questions that you should have internalized and memorized in your mind. Okay?
I share a quick story about, not actually following through with, asking these pre-qualification questions.
Sure.
I had followed up with expired listing for about 6 months and finally got an appointment and was so excited and had plenty of time in between that appointment to pre-qualify the appointment and didn't do that. Drove an hour to the appointment, met with him and his wife for 2 hours, way too long of a period of time, but built a lot of rapport. Left the home with not getting the listing agreement signed, kind of up in the air if I was going to. 2 weeks later, he signed with the same agent who he had used before, and she did the exact same quality listing that I would have done at a better level, I believe. And I think if I had called him and pre-qualified and asked some difficult questions before going, the outcome of that entire experience could have been completely different.
For sure. It's a level of professionalism, guys. If somebody pre-qualifies you, you're like, oh, geez, this guy's not wasting any time. This is a serious person. So, yeah, I mean, you can do that. And guys, look, you can do that all you want. You can go and waste time as much as possible. What we're trying to teach here is how to optimize your time, because you've got to spend enough time prospecting, getting everything ready. I mean, to have to go like Matthew just said, and drive an hour out to somewhere and then sit with people for 2 hours. Why? Why? Because you have a real estate license? I mean, guys, if you got in this business like I did, you got in the business to make money. So I'm interested in listing property at the right price that will cause it to sell within 30 days or less. Now, here's the deal. In Atlanta, an average of 7,000 to 8,000 homes sell per month. So there's plenty of houses out there for you to sell. There's plenty of people out there for you to work with. But if you waste your time with unmotivated people, then it's not, you might be you might be doing a lot, you might be working a lot, but that work that you're doing is not necessarily going to earn you income. And then you're not going to last in this business. This business, guys, it has a 95% attrition rate. That means 95% of the people who get their license are not in real estate as their primary source of income 12 months after they get their license. 95%. And the reason for that is because a lot of people feel like, hey, you know what? I'm new. I can afford to kind of like learn and waste time. Guys, trust me. You want to learn how to do this right on the front end. Pre-qualifying the appointment is a big part of doing it right. It's a big part of saving you a ton of time. It's going to make you come across as a professional. Hey, just so you know, I only have 30 minutes for our appointment this afternoon. Can I go ahead and get started now? Or, hey, I'm new. I don't have anything going on. I can hang out with you guys all evening. What do you want to talk about? I love the drapes, man. This is a beautiful house. Let's hang. Who's going to get the listing?
Can you hear me?
A question, Ben.
Can somebody hear me?
Yes.
Can I just share something quickly?
Sure.
So I'm not a new agent, but I am new to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I just want to just fortify what he is saying. Not only will you waste time, but you will also feel abused and used. So this is like bringing up so much for me, but you know, what can keep you from wasting time? First of all, you are providing a service, but you know, you're not, what do you call it? You're not like a nonprofit agency just giving things away. So what I have finally learned is just like what Ben said, is that you have to set your boundaries and you have to respect your boundaries. Because they told me this when I first started, you know, buyers are liars, sellers are sons of bees. You got to kill the dead dogs. If you want to drink the coffee, you can't waste time. So, and then I just recently, now I'm going to shout her out, Karen Smite said, mind your business. And what that really means is you don't need to go helping people. If they don't have enough respect for you professionally to hire you for your expertise, mind your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you for that. I know Karen, she's a friend of mine. And we've worked together a lot over the years. She's very sharp. And you're absolutely right. Where are you from?
Oh. Who?
Where are you from, Claudette?
I'm from New York. Can I just say one thing? Yeah, but can I just say one thing though? Like I had a client and I just had to cut her off just this last month. But I had a client who, well, she was supposed to be my client. She was an expired. We talked, we became friends. I even went to the agents who had her keys, because in New York it's kind of very, you know, thugged out. So I had to go get her keys because they wouldn't release the keys. I gave her keys so that we can sell her $2 million property, and you know she gave it to someone else. Why? And then she invited me to Thanksgiving dinner. And I just recently told her, like, you know what? No, you will know, I can no longer give you this information without paying me. Because what she did, and I told her this, is you gave Charles with Keller Williams, I wasn't with Keller Williams at the time, but with Keller Williams, you gave him $60,000. And what you didn't do was give it to me, your friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can't forget, guys, we're not trying to win a popularity contest. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bring the value. We're trying to cause people to make a decision. See, buyers do comparison shopping, and they make their decisions based on what the best value is, not what the cheapest thing is. It's what the best value is, right? So we have to become the best value proposition for sellers. A good way of doing that is to use professionalism. Professionalism is something that is not so common anymore, okay? Professionalism is in the way that you sound, the way that you portray yourself. It's in the questions that you ask, the words that you use, okay? The professionalism is in the processes that you follow. the materials that you present. Are you prepared? Did you pre-qualify the listing presentation? Did you send a pre-listing package to the seller? And that's the thing we're going to go over here shortly next. And when you showed up, what did your listing presentation look like? Was it a book like this thick, all about you and your marketing and how cool you are and how many houses you sold? Or were you focused on the actual goals and objectives of the seller, which is what they want to talk about? See, everybody wants to talk about themselves. So if we know that, isn't it most important that we ask questions rather than talk about ourselves, that instead we use our time asking questions that causes the seller to talk about what it is that they expect from us and what they want out of their lives and what their goals and objectives are, so that we can sit there and listen and absorb that information and then craft what it is that we have to say and what it is that we're doing around that. I'll give you an example. I'm going to price a home differently for someone who says, I have to move. I mean, I have to have a moving truck in my yard in 1 week. I got to have this property under contract in a week. Or I got to have the property under contract in a month. Or I got to have the property under the contract. I don't really have to sell. Or, hey, I got a job relocation. I'm moving to Seattle. I got to be there by August 15th. Versus, I got a job relocation in Seattle. I got to be there by October 15th. Okay? You have to understand the objectives and what's happening in the seller's life that's causing them to sell. What are their motivations? Understanding what's going on in their life and what their motivations are going to help you win their business. The art of listening is not listening so that you can think of what to respond with. It's listening so that you can understand the objectives of someone and whether or not you can help them achieve those objectives. And when I say whether or not, the reason I say whether or not is because if you're asking the right questions, you may be the one who determines, I can't help this person. I'm not going to be able to help this person. They're unrealistic on price. They don't actually have to sell. They're not moving for 12 months. I'm not going over there. They're in a divorce, and I might be the husband's choice, but the wife might have her choice, and it's the attorneys who are ultimately going to make the decision because the wife and the husband can't agree. So therefore, it doesn't make sense for me to go over there and do a listing presentation for the husband. See, there's all types of scenarios, guys, where people will set appointments with you. People will waste your time. They do not care about your time, okay? Your time to them is an expendable thing. It's worth less than money. You're the one who has to value your time at whatever your time is going to be valued at. I will tell you how I value my time. I take the amount of money that I make every year and I divide it by the amount of days that I work. Okay? So therefore, I set up a calendar, and I advise people who are my coaching clients to do the same thing. I want you to sit down and I want you to plan out the next 12 months of your life. I want you to sit down and literally mark off every day that you're going to take off. You go to church on Sundays? Fine. Mark every Sunday off for the next 12 months. You're going to go somewhere for your birthday? You celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever holidays you observe, whatever they may be, New Year's, whatever, okay? You're going to mark those. Oh, you got a family vacation. You got a family reunion. Whatever it is over the next year that you know about, what we're going for is about 250 days that you're going to work, okay? So we want you to work about 250 days. We know there's 365 days in the year. That's 115 days off every year. And then I calculate in a flake factor because we're all human. We're going to flake out like 20% of the time, okay? So we're going to flake 20% of the time, meaning that 50 days out of those 250, I mean, whatever, you're going to be late, there's going to be traffic, you're going to be sick, something's going to happen. So then we got 200 days that 100%, 200 of the 250 days, you're going to be working, okay? So you're going to work 200 days over the next 12 months. Let's say you do that. Let's say you work 200 days over the next 12 months, and that causes you to earn $100,000. Well, you take $100,000 and you divide it by 200. And what do you get? You get $500. So that means that somehow you've got to go out every day and add at least $500 worth of value into the marketplace. Somehow you've got to get yourself in front of opportunities every single one of those 200 days. See, we don't have time, guys. Let's say, what if you make $500,000 a year and you divide that by 200 days? How many listing appointments can you go on without pre-qualifying them? I mean, if you've got to earn $3,000 a day for 200 days, you got no time to waste, guys. Your schedule has to be full of income generating opportunity for yourself. You've got to be getting in front of people constantly. You should not have a cap on how many people you have to talk to. You should just be in a position to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going home until I schedule an appointment. How about that? It's 8 in the morning and I'm not going home until I set an appointment. It's 8 in the morning. I've got until 9 p.m. this evening. They tell me I can't make any more calls. So I got 13 hours. And see, that's such a foreign concept to most people. To think about working that hard is such a foreign concept to most people. Because most people want just give me, what do I got to do, man? 20 contacts a day? Okay, I'll do 20, right? The truth is, guys, and I'll never lie to you about what it takes to make it in this business. The truth is, you've got to be willing to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. That's what you've got to be willing to do. Because the people who aren't willing to do whatever it takes, they are going to quit. Do you know how to make it through? Okay, the hardest training on the planet, Navy SEAL training. Navy SEAL training is the hardest training on the planet. Do you know how to make it through Navy SEAL training? You just don't quit, guys. You just don't quit. If you don't quit, you will make it. If you don't quit, you will make it. And it's the same thing in this business. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. You have to be willing to follow a schedule. You have to be willing to prospect every day and get in front of as many people as you can to set an appointment every single day. A great listing agent is going to every single week. They're going to set 5 appointments. They're going to cancel 3. They're going to go on 2, and they're going to take 1 listing every single week. Schedule 5, cancel 3, go on 2, take 1. All right, it's time for our next break. I'm going to give Devin a minute to get pictures. We'll start at 2:52. We'll go to 3:02, and then we'll bring it home. We'll wrap it up for the afternoon. And lucky you guys, you got me Monday and Tuesday too. I know you're so excited.
Sorry, guys.
I'm knocking stuff over on my desk.
Mr. Ben, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So as far as logistics are concerned, how do you advise on acquiring the information and the materials you need for like the specifics of the process and how you get into that contract, or how you go about certain things as a new agent coming in completely green and not really knowing where to begin. Where do you find the resources to say, okay, this is step A, step 1, step 2, this is how you draft up a contract. This is what you need to be doing throughout the process for your client.
So that's a great question. And, guys, I will tell you this, no one does more than Keller Williams as it relates to new agent training and teaching people how to do this business. But I will tell you from the leadership side, so often people ignore what the market center is doing, right? Your market center should be putting out educational classes, how to write contracts, how to do this, how to do that. Your closing coordinator at your office has listing checklists. They have buyer checklists. Also on KW Connect, there's a search bar. You can literally search anything, buyer checklist, listing checklist, contract checklist, so on and so forth. So utilize KW Connect. Utilize the training calendar. You need to know the training calendar of your market center. And you can see this on mykw.kw.com. The training calendar for your market center is right there. So you need to pay attention to that. Also, make sure you're taking FMLS classes. FMLS does great courses and they're free. And they do them at the FMLS Training Center. They also have them at the online as well that you can sign up for, okay? So make sure you do your FMLS classes as well. Taking classes just like this is a great idea. The information, guys, in the book, I don't know if all of you have a printed book. There's an option to get a printed book in some cases. All the materials are also on KW Connect, which I'm sure that you have your digital materials. Guys, read the material, okay? I'm following along with the material, but you've really got to read the material because, like, for example, in the material that we have today, you have a pre-qualification script. You have an entire pre-listing package. The whole thing's right here, and it's downloadable on kwconnect.com. You have the entire listing package here, okay, to include a home tour checklist, and the listing presentation is here, just in this chapter. So a lot of it is going to be your ability to actually dig into the materials that you provided with, to go to the courses that are available to you, and to actually follow the instructions that that you're given on how to do those things. Another thing is that if you're in a market center which has productivity coaching, I would highly recommend that you join productivity coaching, okay? Most of the time, the productivity coach is someone who's been successful in real estate, and they're going to be there to help you through transactions and help you do exactly that. Also, your transaction coordinator in your office is a huge person to help you with checklists, with processes, and things like that. Real estate's a tough business, guys, and in many cases, it's not streamlined like maybe it should be. But the truth is, it's a situation where there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but the truth is, without a person who needs to buy or sell, none of it matters. And that's why we talk so much about lead generation. That's why we talk so much about talking to your database. That's why we talk so much about you getting in front of people on a daily basis, because you can be ready and you can understand every single step and all the little nuances. But if you don't have anybody to sell a home to, it doesn't matter. If you don't have anyone to sell a home for, it doesn't matter. So I would implore you to take your FMLS classes, plug into your transaction coordinator, plug into the training calendar of your market center, plug into your leadership, plug into classes like Ignite, read the materials, download the materials, and try to understand it on a very deep level. Obviously, you have leadership in your market center that's there to answer any questions that you have. And at the same time, you have to realize, again, that without someone to buy or sell a home, none of it matters.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much.
Of course. Any other questions?
Thank you. That was good info.
Absolutely.
Ready? Are you taking a break now, Ben?
Oh, we were supposed to be on break 5 minutes ago, actually, we started.
Oh, we did? I thought you were still.
No, I gave you a minute to take the pictures and then someone asked me a question.
Oh, I thought that was part of it. All right, everybody.
Yeah, we all stayed because we thought you were still talking, so no one went on break.
Okay, cool.
We are here.
I think a couple people did because I don't see their faces.
Well, let's just give everybody a minute to
Uh-oh, did we take pictures?
No. That's all right.
Yeah, I thought you took them already.
No, I'm a failure, guys. I am a failure. Okay. I thought we were still going because of the question. So that's all right.
just whenever I gave everybody until 3:02 to get back.
I'll just do it then.
If you need to go and take a break right now, just do it. And what we'll do, Devin, is we'll do a screenshot when everybody gets back at 3:02, and then we'll do another screenshot at like 3:10 or something like that.
Word.
We have to, okay?
Okay.
So go ahead and take 5 minutes, guys. 4 or 5 minutes. We'll be back at 2:02, and we'll clean up the screenshots.
Rico. Okay, all right. Cujo. Awesome. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Paw. No, paw. Good boy. You're so cute. Here you go. Good job. Bye. Just use me for snacks. Oh, jeez.
All right, Devin, you there? How we looking? We got everybody back?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's get a shot of everybody. Hopefully everybody's back by now. Everybody, please turn your cameras on.
Yeah. And Rashida, I
Listen,
can't
Lisa.
see yours.
Where you at, Lisa?
And Terry. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And Tracy's good. Rashida's the only one. Oh, and Rachel. I think they left after. Hold on. I'll do one real quick and then I'll do another one at 10 after.
Okay, cool.
Make sure those two are in it. All right. Ready? All right. Say queso. Just kidding. Okay.
Peace.
All right. And the last one. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, great, guys. So I'm going to run through this pre-listing packet with you real quick. I'm on page 15 in your course materials. And it says the pre-listing packet plays two critical roles. Pre-selling, the pre-listing materials are specifically designed to build sellers' confidence in you and to answer their questions and objections in advance of your presentation. Number two, it saves time. A strong pre-listing packet will make the consultation experience smoother and probably shorter than it otherwise would have been. So what is the pre-listing the pre-listing package, guys, is information that you're going to send to the seller before your listing appointment. So we have two things that need to happen before the listing appointment. Number one is the pre-listing package. Number one is the pre-qualification call. Number two is the pre-listing package, okay? So any questions about the pre-qualification call or the pre-listing package? All right, so if we go to page 16, it's a little bit about what you're going to do, right? I will help you by taking time to understand your wants, needs, and expectations, answering your questions, returning your phone calls and emails the same day, and being honest with you at all times. Number two, helping you obtain the highest possible price for your home in the shortest amount of time. Number three, advising you on pricing and staging once I have evaluated your home thoroughly against the market. Number four, implementing a comprehensive marketing plan to expose your house to buyers through as many channels as possible. Number five, coordinating the home showing process with your family's needs in mind. Presenting all offers and advising you on the terms and contingencies contained within. Negotiating on your behalf for the best offer. Scheduling and coordinating completion of contingencies and inspections and monitoring the buyer's loan process. 9, coordinating and supervising the preparation of all real estate closing documents and guiding you through the closing process. 10, during the entire listing, from start to finish, always representing your best interests. That's a pretty good list, isn't it? A lot of people want to know, what is it that I need to do first, right? What I need to do first, what I need to do second. Well, that's a great list for you right there. That is a great list for you. Those are also, when somebody says, hey, what are you going to do to get my home sold? Right? That's a cue to go into that list. Hey, Ben, what are you going to do to get my home sold? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take time to understand your wants, needs, and expectations. I'm going to answer all your questions. I'll return your phone calls and emails the same day, and I'll be completely honest with you at all times. I'll also help you obtain the highest possible price for your home in the shortest amount of time. I'm also going to advise you on pricing and staging once I've evaluated your home thoroughly against the market. I'm going to implement a comprehensive marketing plan to expose your house for buyers through as many channels as possible. I'm going to coordinate the home showing process with your family's needs in mind. You might add COVID to that. I'm going to present all offers to you and advise you on the terms and contingencies contained within. Then we're going to negotiate on your behalf for the best possible price and offer. Once we get it under contract, I'm going to schedule all of the contingencies, inspections, and I'm going to monitor the buyer's loan process. Then I'm going to coordinate and supervise the preparation of all closing documents and guide you through the closing process. Then I'm going to hand you the check at closing. What questions do you have? See, you can use the material that you've already been given as a script, as an indication of what your job is to do. See, what you naturally say, guys, is not good enough. You have to study. You have to dig into this stuff. It's all right there in front of you, but it's up to you to do it. The fact that you have a real estate license, unfortunately, does not mean that you know what it takes to help people buy and sell real estate. It just means that you passed a test based on the laws, okay, and whatnot. I mean, they do give you great information in the real estate school, and at the same time, you have to understand real estate schools are as much of a business as anything else, okay? They want to give out as many real estate licenses as they can. They're in business to make money. Schools are in business to make money. They don't stay in business by failing people. You know what I mean? So you have to look at it from the perspective of you've got to soak up all this information. You've got to focus on memorizing this information for yourself. So we get further into it, right? Page 18, get ready to sell. This is a pricing strategy. This is a pricing presentation. The next one is a presentation on the condition of the property. Here's what you need to do to make sure that your property is in the best possible condition. So you guys really take the time to review this information. Let's just go into page 18. A well-priced home creates interest, attracts buyers, generates showing, and produces offers, all very quickly. An underpriced home will attract buyers and may sell quickly, yet it may detract buyers who wonder what's wrong with it, as well as be overlooked by buyers looking in a slightly higher price range. Now, an overpriced home will be evidenced by a lack of interest, few showings, no offers, longer time on market, and possibly price cuts, which look bad from the buyer's perspective. Now, Mr. Seller, let me ask you, based on the goals that we have discussed that you have, you've got to get your family to Dallas, Texas by September 5th. How should we price your home? Do you want your listing to be a well-priced home, an underpriced home, or an overpriced home? Well, I'd like it to be a well-priced home. Great answer. Me too. So let's discuss the best. You see what I'm saying, guys? Everything is right here. Get ready to sell condition. That's page 19, page 20. Questions for you, the seller. Guys, we're still in the pre-listing package. You haven't even gone on the listing appointment yet. You scheduled the appointment. You did the pre-qualification call. After the pre-qualification call, you emailed them the pre-listing package. So now you're going to call them and say, hey, I sent you the pre-listing package. Did you get it? Yeah, I got it. Okay, great. There's some really important information in there. Do you mind taking 5 or 10 minutes? It's only 8 pages long. Just go through. There's a few questions at the end for you to answer. and just go through and read through that and let me know what questions you have before our appointment. Will that be okay? Yeah, sure, Ben. I'll go ahead and read through it. Now, guys, when they read through this information, these are the things that they're reading. The things that I'm reading to you are the things that they're going to be reading. And then you're going to show up and you're going to say something like, so, were you able to fill out the questions on the pre-listing package? Great. Do you mind if I see those? Well, let's look at the questions, guys. Page 20. What is the most important thing you're looking for in your listing agent? Number 2, what prior real estate transaction experiences have you had? Number 3, how would you like to be communicated with? Email, phone, text, or other? Number 4, how frequently would you like an update on marketing? Weekly, twice a month, after each showing, or other? How frequently would you like an update on showings? Weekly, twice a month, after each showing, other? Explain. Please list what you are most concerned about in the marketplace. And you can sit there at the listing appointment, you go, oh, okay, let me take a look at that. Most important thing about your listing agent. Oh yeah, those are great points. And prior, oh, you sold a couple houses, good for you. Okay, great. Yeah, we have a text messaging system, so we'll communicate with you by text. And we'll do it weekly. We see you want to be updated weekly here. That's fantastic. And we'll update you weekly on showings as well. And I see here that you're most concerned about marketing, so we'll get right into that. Thank you so much for having me over today. I look forward to getting your property on the market and getting it sold. Can I go ahead and take a look around the home now since we've identified some objectives here? And then you begin the listing presentation, okay? We want to be as prepared as possible. Guys, the subject is how to win the seller. It's not how to go waste your time. If the subject was how to go waste your time, I'd say, hey, you know what? You guys are new anyways. Don't worry about it. Just go meet with anybody that'll schedule an appointment with you. Don't even worry about it. You got a lot to learn. But that's not the title of the session. The title of the session is how to win the seller. How to win the seller, okay, it starts with the initial call. Then it moves to setting the appointment. Are you able to set an appointment? After you set the appointment, it goes into the pre-qualification call. Then after the pre-qualification call, you're going to send them the pre-listing package. After you pre-qualify the listing appointment and send them the pre-listing package, then you're going to show up at the listing appointment. And it is show time. Okay, this is the time for you to deliver. To deliver on what, Ben? Well, you scheduled the appointment. And if you scheduled the appointment and you're following the scripts, you know where they want to move. You know when they want to be there. You know why their home didn't sell. You know what happened. You know a lot of what's going on. Then you pre-qualified the listing appointment. So if you pre-qualified the listing appointment, you have those questions answered as well. Now you've got the pre-listing package and there's more questions that you've got answered. Guys, you now have everything you need to go in and take the listing. Or you have a good reason why you probably should have canceled the listing appointment, but you didn't. And so if you probably should have canceled it and you didn't, you're going to go try to get the listing anyways. Hey, that's fine. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But don't expect it to. Expect to take the listing when you do things right. The idea here is that we set up a process by which you can become confident in your ability. Hey, if I'm sitting in this house right now, it means that they set the appointment with me, they pre-qualified with me, they answered all the questions on my pre-listing package, and now the only thing I'm here to do is just agree with them on a price, get the listing agreement signed, and get out of here. I'm confident in my ability now that I'm here, because I knew I went through everything I went through to get here. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get the listing agreement signed. Now I may be up against some other very confident people, and then now we're talking about skill. Okay, Now it's okay to fail, because now if you go in there and you do all this stuff and you fail, you're going to know why you didn't get it, because you're going to have to ask. Hey, I've got to ask. I mean, I take a lot of care and effort into how I go through my listing process. And I noticed that you hired Brian instead of me. And with all due respect, Brian is a fantastic agent. You've made a great decision in hiring him. I want to know, if you don't mind me asking, what could I have done to win the listing that I didn't do? And they'll tell you. Well, Ben, you know, you did a great job. You did everything right. But with Brian, he just seemed to have a little better understanding of the neighborhood. He really understood what was happening in our neighborhood. And although you sold a lot of homes and we thought you'd be a good candidate, you just didn't seem to have as good of a hold on the neighborhood as he did. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much for letting me know. I'll talk to you later. Good luck in getting your home sold. Now I know, hey, when I go into a listing appointment, I better know the neighborhood backwards and forwards so I don't get beat by Brian again, right? But if we're just willy-nilly going out and talking to people, guys, and it's a popularity contest, you're going to waste a lot of time. You're not going to like people very quickly because you're going to feel like they are intentionally wasting your time. But the truth is, they are not wasting your time. Well, they are wasting your time, but you're the one that's letting it. You're the one who's allowing it to happen. You are the only one who's responsible for your time. So don't be mad at somebody else for wasting your time. Be mad at yourself for allowing them to waste your time. Does that make sense? Guys, we have to take responsibility for our lives. We have to take responsibility 100% for everything that we do, okay? It's not anybody else's fault. Okay, so the pre-listing package goes further. Questions for you, and then a little bit about yourself, right? Expertise, technology, communication, clients for life, award and recognition, personal, your commitment, what your clients say, right? You could add or take away anywhere here, just a little bit about yourself. Not, oh, you know, my favorite color is blue, and you know, I'm 39 years old, and I really like snowboarding in the winter time, and I like going to the beach. And guys, people don't care, okay? They do not care. They're hiring a professional. How about this? Maybe we could be friends if I do a great job for you. But as far as right now is concerned, we're not friends. But if you hire me, that means I work for you. And if I work for you, then you can trust that I'm going to do everything in my power to do a great job and get your home sold, that I can help you achieve your goals. And maybe after I do that, then we could be friends. So tell me, do you want to hire your friend who owes you friendship? Or do you want to hire me who owes you a professional relationship and who's committed to helping you achieve your objectives? Right? People want to hire a professional, guys. You want to be that professional that they hire. Therefore, how do we win the seller? We take the seller through a process. The process begins on the call. The process begins with your Facebook post. The process begins with your text message. The process begins with your mailer. The process begins with lead development, business development, prospecting, lead generation. That's where the process begins. Once you hook them, once they become a lead for you, there's more. The process of lead generating is called a schedule, okay? That's the process of generating leads. You have a schedule. Once you generate the leads, there's a process that you need to take them through prior to going on the appointment so that you can win their business. And that's the process that we're here to talk about today, guys. Okay? So now that we have gotten through the prospecting call, we've set the appointment, we pre-qualified the appointment, we sent the pre-listing package, now we're on the listing appointment. Okay? So I'm going to share a video with you guys. It's a listing presentation from a KW Mega agent. His name is Josh Bath. Okay, and he is going to show you what's up with listing property. All right, hold on one sec. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share, which screen am I going to share? Hold on a sec. Dang, I got a lot of screens open. All right, can you guys see him? Okay, here's the video.
Hi, I'm Josh Bass from Vancouver, Canada. I'm with Keller Williams for 8 years and been selling real estate for 18 years. Now I'm going to walk you through my listing presentation, and it's a 3-step process. The first part is preparation, the second part is presentation, and the third part is follow-up. A lot of my listings come by way of referral and repeat. And so when the call comes in and they want me to come over and list their home, I have a conversation about what their needs are. What exactly is it you're looking to do? Are you moving up? Are you moving down? I have them tell me exactly what the reasons are that they're selling for. I get a real sense of what direction that they want to go. One of the things that we've done to make my appointment setting a little easier is we've time blocked. We follow what Gary says. He says time block everything that you do. And we've time blocked our slots in advance for listing appointments. Every day, Monday to Friday, we have a slot available at 4 o'clock and a second slot available at 5:30. So I've got a potential of 10 listing appointments Monday to Friday. That makes my life a lot easier because I'm able to time block my lead generation first thing in the morning and not have my day so loose and scattered. So I'm trying to scramble on where to put a listing appointment. What we do now in our team is we've decided to go paperless with our evaluations, our CMAs. So instead of printing off paper, what we'll do is we'll take it on the computer and convert it to PDF, mark it up with a highlighter from there on the computer, and then create an email from that, email that package off to our client prior to going out to their home to list it. What I do when I go on a listing presentation is I meet the sellers at the door and I have them take me on a tour of the property. During that time, I'm actually asking them to tell me again, to recap again, what their motivation is for selling. So I'm getting them more comfortable with them moving out of their house is what I'm doing. That usually takes about 5 minutes. And when we're done there, we transition right over to the kitchen table. We'll talk about the market, the evaluation itself, and that in itself is about 15 minutes. Once we've agreed upon a price that we're going to list at, we'll sign a listing contract. They sign the initial 3-page contract. They sign the property disclosure statement, and they sign the working with a realtor brochure. Outside of those 3 documents, that's it. I send in my measuring company to come in and measure the home. I send in my stager who's going to contact them to come in and stage the home. And once she's done, then I send in the photographer and take the photos of the home. We always do a follow-up with them as well, just to say, how did that go? What was that experience like for you? Keeps them feeling like they're in control and very much a part of the process. And it lets them know that we're paying attention to every detail on their listing prior to it even being on the market. One of the expectations that I set with the sellers is that I phone them twice a week on purpose. So I set their expectation for me to phone them on Monday mornings with what's called the Monday morning update, where I review everything that's happened for their home over the past weekend with them. The second call that I set them up for to expect is on Fridays, and that's a Friday morning market update. And what I've set them up for is that I'm going to talk to them about any new listings that have hit the market, any expireds that have come off the market, and any solds that have actually just happened since that past week. They also know that on Friday, we're going to be talking about the numbers. Does the current list price that we're at right now still make sense in relation to the latest listings or the most current solds? They know in advance that that conversation could lead to a price reduction. And a lot of times they bring that on themselves. They say, hey, look, you know what? It looks like we might be a bit high, Josh. Should we bring it down? So it's a natural transition to a price reduction. One of the reasons I choose not to do a pre-listing package is when I'm sitting in front of them, I really want their full focus and attention. I want their attention on me, and I want to be able to ask them questions where they're giving me their full attention and not flipping through a pre-listing package. Most of their questions are going to come straight from their gut, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm Josh Bath, and I just shared my listing presentation with you, and I wish you all the best with yours.
All right, guys, Josh Bath is a beast. He's a beast. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. All right, cool. So we're at the listing appointment now. I'm on page 23, guys. The first thing you do is greet the seller. The second thing you're going to do is walk through the home. And then the third thing you're going to do is the listing presentation. Now, this is important, guys. Okay, this is important. When I knock on the door and they answer, "Hi, how are you?" I'm going to say, "Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me over. I'm Ben Heidenreich. Nice to meet you. I can't wait to get your home on the market and get it sold. Do you mind if I go ahead and take a look around the house real quick before we sit down and discuss the listing agreement?" And they say, "Oh, thanks, Ben. Thanks for coming over. No, we don't mind at all. Hey, how about we show you around the house?" That's not going to work. I don't say that's not going to work, okay? But I'm letting you guys know that's not going to work. Here's why. It's going to take too long. Remember, you've only got 30 minutes to get that listing agreement signed and get out of there, okay? And so at that point, I'd say something like, "You know, I would really love to do that, but currently I really don't have much more than 30 to 45 minutes to be here, and I want to make sure that we can get through all the documentation. I'd like to view the home through the eyes of the buyer. So really, I'm just going to walk around and take a quick tour of the home so I can just get mentally an idea of what I'm dealing with here. And then can we meet back in the kitchen at the dining room table, or where would you prefer that I meet you back? I'd really like to just take a quick look. It'll only take me a couple minutes. I look at homes all the time. It's just going to take me a couple minutes. I just need to get an idea of what the home looks like through the eyes of the buyer. Hey, I'm just trying to familiarize myself with the property. So if it's okay with you, I'd just like to take a quick look around on my own." Guys, if you say something like that, okay, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'll meet you back at the kitchen table." Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. You're going to walk around the house. It's going to take you a couple minutes. Have your notepad, take some notes, right? And once you tour the home, so step number 1, greet the seller. I hope you guys are following me on here, page 23. Step number 2, walk through the home. Step number 3, listing presentation. Okay? Now, yeah.
When you're going through the home, like what exactly like are you looking for? Are you looking for like damages and stuff? Like what exactly are you looking for?
I'm not really looking for anything.
Or just make sure it is what they described it to be.
I'm just trying to get a feel of the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to feel it out. I mean, here's the thing. At this moment in time, you've gone through the process of creating a comparative market analysis. You've looked, I mean, you've got your process. You're an expert on the neighborhood, but you're an expert on the neighborhood who's never seen the subject property before. So you're just kind of checking it out to make sure it is what you thought it was going to be. Now, if you see holes in the walls or, you know, if you see stuff, then that's kind of giving you an indication of, hey, maybe the price wasn't as high as I thought it should be, right? So you're kind of adjusting your presentation as you're walking through the home. Or, hey, maybe you see a brand new, completely marbled out bathroom that you didn't know anything about. And that you know because you studied the comps that one down the street sold for a little higher value. So you're going in your head and going, okay, I'm adjusting up a little bit here for this bathroom. Or you're going to say, hey, you know what? This is about what I expected it to be. I'm on point with my pricing presentation. You're walking through to make sure that the pricing presentation that you're about to give is on point. Okay. And if it's not, that's going to mean either the home is nicer than you thought it was going to be, the home's not as nice as you thought it was going to be, or the home's about what you expected. Does that make sense? And in either case, you're kind of going to work the pricing presentation to that extent.
Is the carpet something that you would reduce the price for? Let's say they had like a dog and like the carpet isn't like a nice carpet. Would you like recommend reducing the price because they had a bad carpet?
I wouldn't say it like that, but I would present Like, okay, let's say I thought the house had all wood floors, right? And it's a $250,000 house. I might be okay with going 260, 265. If it's got stank dog carpet that needs to be replaced and I know it, I'm going to, number one, ask if they're willing to replace the stank dog carpet. Or number two, if they're not, if they're willing to make a concession for the stank dog carpet. And if not, I'm going to recommend a price of probably $245,000, $250,000 and let them know that, hey, the stank dog carpet's probably going to be an issue for prospective buyers. Or do you guys understand what I mean by that? A lot of people that have stank houses, guys, they don't even know it, okay? So
same thing goes for like paint, like weird paint colors and stuff too, right?
yeah, but don't get stuck in the rut of trying to be this like everything home person. Guys, you're trying to get the listing agreement signed and get out of there, okay? Hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to have a stager come in, or hey, we're going to figure out the best. Once our photographer comes in, you know, guys, your objective is to get the listing agreement signed. Once you get the listing agreement signed, then you can deal with all that kind of stuff. Don't get stuck talking about paint colors for 30 minutes. Here's the thing. They love their paint colors. They love them. You're going to lose the listing by telling them their paint color is ugly, okay? Don't get involved in it. That's not what you're walking through the house for. You're walking through the house as a part of your presentation, okay? This is not to further complicate things. This is a part of your presentation. The beginning of your presentation is when they open the door. What do you say? How do you look? The second part of your presentation is you walk through the house and you sit down at the table prepared to give your pricing presentation. The third part of the presentation is you go through the comp, you give the pricing presentation, you ask for the signature, and you get out of there. Simple. Don't overcomplicate it, okay? Yes, the paint colors might suck. Yes, the carpet might be stank. Yes, the bathroom might need to be cleaned, so on and so forth. Okay, fine. Maybe you can discuss those things. But again, guess what, guys? You only got 30 to 45 minutes to be here today. You got to get on to your next appointment. So let me go take a quick look around the house. We'll sit down. We'll talk about the right price for your home. We'll agree on a price. We'll sign the listing documentation. And then I'm going to get on to my next appointment. And we'll follow up on everything else later. Okay? That is how you win the seller. How you lose the seller is telling them they got stank carpet, telling them their paint colors are ugly, telling them they got to drop 10 grand upgrading the house before you're going to list it. Overcomplicated. Oh, no, don't worry about it. It's no problem. I'm going to handle everything. We're going to get this thing up and get it going. Now you've got the listing agreement signed, okay? Let's go after the listing presentation, okay? Let's just say you did a great job. You got the listing agreement signed. It's the next day now. You call back. You know, Mrs. Seller, when I was at the house yesterday, I noticed that, you know, it seems like maybe, you know, it might be a good idea to do a carpet cleaning or something like that. Have you guys considered doing a carpet cleaning before we begin to show the property? Well, why would you say that? Well, I don't know. I mean, it honestly looked fine to me. It's just a good practice to clean the carpets before, you know, before we have buyers come through and tour the home. Not because it smells like your dog and you know what I'm saying? So you have to be strategic with the way that you come at people, right? Hey, Ms. Seller, you know, when I was at the home yesterday, and I'm very excited to get your home up, and we're scheduling photography right now, by the way. Hey, I was wondering, many of the homes that have sold in the neighborhood had a fresh coat of like white paint. Would you guys be open to having a painter come out and just throw some white paint on the walls, like in key areas? Or is that kind of out of the question for you guys? Oh, no, that's out of the question. We're not spending any money whatsoever. No problem. I've got a great photographer. We're going to do a great job. Or, hey, you know what? That's probably a good idea, Ben. You see what I'm saying? Guys, it doesn't matter, okay? If the paint colors are off and the price of the home is correct, guess what's going to happen? A buyer's going to make an offer, and they're going to say, look, we're going to have to repaint the whole house. So we're going to pay you $5 grand less. It's going to cost us $5 grand to repaint the house. And you go to the seller, you say, look, they got to repaint the house. You know? Your opportunity Your objective is to get the seller in a position to sell. The way that you get the seller in a position to sell is by bringing them an offer on their property. The only way that you can do that is by getting the property listed. Put first thing first. Get the listing agreement signed. Does that make sense? Worry about everything else later. Get the listing agreement signed. Buyer hasn't pre-qualified and they don't know where they want to be. So what? Get the buyer brokerage agreement signed. Figure all that stuff out later, okay? Get the paperwork signed, guys. Remember, two sides to the business, the development side and the service side. Service is like when the pest control guy comes out and sprays your house, right? That's pest control service. Real estate services, showing properties to a buyer, negotiating contracts for a seller. That's the service side of our business. Who's the pest control company that comes and sprays the house? Whichever one gets you to sign up for their quarterly plan. You see what I'm saying? You got to get that paperwork done. Now you can go and do all the fun HGTV stuff. The first things first, get the paperwork done. Then tell them about paint colors. Then tell them about carpet. Then tell them, then you can roll out your whole, whatever it is you want to. Look, guys, we have the freedom to conduct our business any way we choose. Your business is going to look different than mine. Okay? I know people who do all kinds of stuff that I would never do. And guess what? They make a lot of money and they do a lot of business. We're all going to have different businesses. You see what I'm saying? And people are going to work with you. See, people work with me that would never work with you. And people are going to work with you who would never work with me. And that's okay because there's plenty to go around. So you've got to be authentic, but you've got to be focused on being a professional listing agent. A professional football player looks a lot different than a high school football player. A professional football player looks a lot different than a college football player. A professional listing agent looks, acts, feels, presents a lot differently than an amateur does. And what you guys need to do at the beginning of your career is commit to the process of becoming a professional real estate listing agent, becoming a professional buyer's agent, because they deal with things completely differently. A professional listing agent loves to cancel listing appointments. Loves it. Because they just say, because they know how much their time is worth, and they realize how much money they just saved by making that little short 5-minute call where they determined that the wife wasn't going to be there. And they have a rule of thumb. I don't go on listing appointments unless all decision makers are present. And you can tell the guy that. Well, sir, unfortunately, as a professional listing agent, I don't go on listing appointments unless all decision makers are present. Is there an opportunity, even a Zoom call that we could do? I'll do it at 5 in the morning. I'll do it at 9 at night. But I've got to get in front of both decision makers so that I can do a professional presentation for you both. I'm not saying that you're a bad communicator, but it's unlikely that you're going to be able to present the material to your wife in the way that I'm going to present it to your wife. And I would love to have the opportunity to present it to you both, since you're probably going to want to sit and talk after the presentation to determine if I'm the right person to serve your needs and help you achieve your goals. Does that make sense, sir? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, great. So let's cancel this afternoon's appointment since your wife isn't going to be there. And then could I follow up with you to see when a good time would be after she gets home from work maybe, and we could together discuss what a good time for all of us to get together would be, either in person or digitally. Is that a professional listing agent or is that an amateur? See, the amateur says, I don't care, I'm coming anyways. Here I come. Here I come, I'm going. Pull the cord, I'm out the door, right? Whereas a professional, so if you set yourself up as a professional from the beginning, you are going to attract people. See, we're like magnets, guys. We're like magnets. Human beings are like magnets. Everything that you have in your life right now was attracted to you as a result of your magnetism, okay? You have this magnetism. It emanates through every area of your life. The people who you want to attract in this business are people who have to sell, people who have to buy. Not be, you know, maybe I'll sell if I get this, that, or the other. Yeah, well, whatever. Just a thought. I have to sell. Then you need a professional, don't you? Yes, I do. Good, you got one. I've got a few questions for you before we meet. Can I go ahead and ask them now? I'm going to send you a pre-listing package. Will you please review it before we come over? I'm going to take a walk through your home real quick. I'll meet you at the dining room table. Based on the comps, which price do you feel like we should put on your house to ensure value in the eyes of the buyer? Will you list your home with me tonight for $350,000 so that I can get you and your family to Seattle by September 1st? Fantastic. All you need to do now is just sign here and I can get to work. Thank you very much. I look forward to helping you get to Seattle. I got to go. Have a nice day. Or, hey, could I come over and talk to you about getting your home sold? Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, man? Good to meet you. So, cool house, man. This is awesome. I love the paint colors. Oh, is that a pit bull? I love pit bulls. Oh, I have one too. So does my cousin. Oh, look at the back. Oh, you like grilling? I like grilling. You have a green egg? I have a green egg. You like steak? No way. You like steak? I love steak. Let's talk about my steak recipe. Guys, what are we doing here? Okay? You have to commit to becoming a professional. People who have to move need professional representation. And guess what? They're out there all day, every day. We're in Atlanta, okay? We're in Atlanta. So if you notice on page 23, it's a 3-step listing appointment. Number 1, greet. Number 2, walk through the home. Number 3, listing presentation. A, B, and C, guys. A, explain the comparative market analysis. B, get the listing agreement signed. C, discuss next steps. That's it. Hey, nice to meet you. Could I come in? I look forward to getting your home on the market and getting it sold. Do you mind if I take a quick look around the house? Fantastic. Thank you very much. Here are the listing documents I've brought. Over here, this is the listing agreement we're going to sign if you decide to hire me tonight. Then here's the seller's property disclosure. I'm going to leave that with you to go ahead and fill out. Here's the community association disclosure. I'm going to leave that with you to fill out as well. And over here is the comparative market analysis. Now, what we've got to do is we've got to look at this comparative market analysis, and we've got to determine, based on the active listings, which are your competition, the pending listings, which are now under contract, and the sold listings, which are the greatest indication of the value of your home, what the right value for your home is, so that we can get it on the market and get it sold as quickly as possible. Now, before I start my presentation, do you have any questions for me? Okay, great. So as you can see, this home right here, it's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. It's very much like your home. It's 3 doors down from you. Are you familiar with this home? Like yours, it has wood floors, and it actually has a really nice backyard area. Now, yours and this home are very similar because yours doesn't have the backyard area, but yours has a basement. I would price your home similarly to this one. Would you agree with that? Okay, good. Now let's move to this pending home. See, this home's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home. They don't have the bedroom over the garage. And as you can see, it was initially priced a little lower than yours. Now, we don't know what it's under contract for because we won't know that until it closes. But this is a great indication that we're kind of on the right track with where we're looking to price your home, because this is a 4 and yours is a 5 and it was listed for a little bit less. We want to price your home a little above this. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Okay, great. Now we're going to go into the closed comps. See, these homes are very similar to yours. And this one actually is most similar to yours. Now, it was listed at $255,000, and it actually ended up selling for $250,000 within 14 days. Man, wouldn't that be great? Now, on the other side, we have this home, which also sold, and it sold for a similar amount, but they initially listed it for $265,000, and it took them 65 days to get it sold. Now, you don't have 65 days to get your home sold, do you, sir? I didn't think so, because you've got to be in Seattle by September 5th, don't you? Yep, that's what I thought. So based upon the comps and everything that we know about the neighborhood here, I'm going to recommend that we go ahead and list your property tonight for $257,500. Will you, Mr. Seller, list your home with me for $257,500 tonight? Fantastic. As we discussed, this is the listing agreement. Do you mind if I go ahead and go through it with you so that you understand everything that's on it before you sign it? Wonderful. Up top, this is the address of your home. Now, here's the price that we've agreed to set for your home. This is the listing period. It's between this date and this date. Is that okay with you? Wonderful. And here it shows that we're going to be marketing the property on Georgia MLS and FMLS. Is that going to be okay? Okay, fantastic. And as you see here, the commission that we charge is 6%. 3% goes to the buyer's agent, 3% goes to us for doing a great job for you. Wonderful. Now here it says that you and I aren't related. We aren't related, are we? I didn't think so. Okay, great. So we're not going to mark a material relationship disclosure. Okay, now here on the next page, this is where it goes through that if you were getting a divorce or had a bankruptcy or something like that, we would have to identify who that third party was going to be for me to negotiate with. But you don't have any of those things, so we're going to leave this area blank. Now, if you agree with all that, I just need you to sign the contract right here so that I can get to work, get your home on the market like we've discussed, and get you Seattle by September 5th. Are you good with that? Okay, great. Please sign here. Okay, now I'm going to sign it. Mr. Seller, thank you very much for your confidence. As I said when I got here, I've really got to get going, but I'm going to leave you these disclosures to fill out. Could you please fill these disclosures out? And I've put my transaction coordinator's email address on there and get them to the transaction coordinator. If you don't have a fax, or I'm sorry, if you don't have a scanner, I can just come back and get them before photography. Which would you like me to do? Okay, great. I'll come back and get the forms. I really look forward to working with you. Thank you for your confidence, and I'll talk to you soon. Call me if you need anything at all. My business card's in the back.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want to pay the 6% though.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Ben.
Guys, look, that is the listing presentation, okay? That's it. That's the listing presentation. So how much do you want to pay? Who doesn't want to pay 6%? Somebody said they want to pay 6%.
5%.
You want to pay 5%?
So that can be negotiated, Ben, as far as the percentage when you say 3% for the buyer's agent and 6% for the seller.
The total commission is 6%. 3% goes to the buyer's agent. That's industry standard. Guys, you can charge whatever you want to charge. I charge 6%. I know people that charge 7%. I know people that charge 4%. I know people that charge 5%. I know people that negotiate commission. I know people that don't negotiate commission. It's really up to you. And so who asked me, who said they don't want to pay 6%? Come on, guys.
I was just gonna say, I just recently had something like that just happen to me,
Yeah.
and with my listing, and the guy offered 5%, and I was just like, I wanted to get the listing because it was my first listing. Because I said 6, he said 5. I realized he has a couple other properties, so he's been through this a couple times. So at first we agreed on the 5%. Every single agent that came to the, wanted to present an offer, first thing they were saying, it's really only 2.5%. It's really only 2. I'm like, yeah, and eventually I did go back to him and I asked him, I said, would you mind bringing our commission? This is after we've already signed our agreements and all that stuff. I asked him later, I said, the 2.5% is giving everybody the blues, because we're talking about something at this point, it's like $122,000. You don't know how long they've been working with their client for you to come out with basically $2,000 at the end of your thing, it doesn't feel good. So he understood, and we signed for him to go back up to 6%. But it was just something I wanted to bring up, because sometimes you'll realize, like, the agents do not want to sell your property if they feel like they're not going to be compensated. So like, they're like, be careful, like, no, it's worth, your worth, their worth, everybody's worth up front, because they're not going to want to, like, they want to sell the property, but like they really don't want to, because they know they're not getting what they want.
No, that's a great point, and that's exactly what kind of I was going to get into. And somebody says, hey, I don't want to pay the 6%. I say, okay, great. How much would you like to pay? Well, I would like to pay 5%. Okay, then here's my next question. If I agree to 5% commission, will you go ahead and sign the listing agreement right now? If they say yes, I say, okay. Let me explain to you what's going to happen if we list at 5%. See, I've got to split the commission with the buyer's agent. If I split 5% with the buyer's agent, that means they're going to get 2.5%. Industry standard is 3%. And therefore, if we list your home at 2.5% commission, that is going to potentially push buyer's agents away, or encourage buyer's agents not to show your property, or encourage buyer's agents to advise their buyers to buy a home where they're being paid the fair market rate. What do you do for a living? And in your business, do you like being paid less than the market rate, at the market rate, or more than the market rate? So there's all kinds of ways that you can discuss that with them, guys, but exactly what you just said is correct. It's a detractor. And honestly, hopefully the commission objection comes up during the pre-qualification process so that you can prepare yourself to deal with that when you get there. And at the same time, they might say something like, look, I want you to put the buyer's agent at 3%. I want you to take 2%. And if you're not going to do that, then I'm going to go with the guy next door who already told me that that's what he was going to do. Well, now you have a decision to make, don't you? You're a business owner. Do you want 2% or don't you? It's up to you guys. I just took 1.5% on a $3.5 million property. Just saying. 1.5. Who wants 1.5 on $3.5 million?
I do. Me.
Again, you got to think about it in terms of the money itself, guys. Don't get stuck on percentages. Think about the dollar figures. Think about the amounts. Be the business person. The guy called me. He's a good friend of mine. He goes, look, Ben, I'm buying a condo and I'm selling my house. I don't want to pay any more than 1.5% because I know that I'm buying a $2.2 million condo and I'm selling a $1.3 million house, okay? And I know that 1.5% on that money is like $50K. I don't want to pay somebody more than $50K. I want you to do it. Do you want to do it, or you want me to call the next guy? I said, thanks for the call. I'm in. Do I like cutting commission? Of course not, guys. Last November, I got paid 4% on a 2.3. That was awesome, right? So you do the best you can, but don't walk away from profit. Do the best you can to get 6%. Try not to get hung up on it. But if you're facing an ultimatum, you're really going to have to decide whether or not you want the money. Sometimes it's not worth it. Hey, I'm only paying 1.5%. Well, it's a $150,000 house. I'm not interested. It's not enough money. It's just not enough. Sir, we're talking about $1,500 here. After I pay my brokerage and my taxes, I might make a couple $100. I'm sorry, that's not enough. That doesn't fit with my business plan. I wish you the best of luck. You have to be willing to walk, but you have to be willing, guys, you have to be willing to walk at a certain point, but you need to have an idea in your mind what that point is. And it needs to be based, instead of a percentage, it needs to be based on a dollar amount. I don't want to do any deal for less than $5,000. Any deal. If I'm making less than $5,000, I'm really not that interested, to be honest with you. Now, I'm 8 years in the business. I sell a lot of houses, and honestly, I'm trying to do less transactions at a higher price point. So my objective over the last 2 years has been to go from an average price point of $400,000 to an average price point of $1 million. I'm going to do less transactions, but I'm going to make more money. And you can do those things as you go, or you can do them now. Like, look, a friend of mine, his name is Dustin Kimberly. He's with a different company, okay? His name, and the guy's 28 years old. He made $860,000 last year. He charges 7% commission and an $895 transaction fee, and he will walk on 6% commission. He'll walk over $100 on his transaction. He does not care. If you won't pay him 7% plus, and this guy's a shark. He gives 2.5% to the buyer's agent. 7%, 2.5 goes to the buyer's agent. He makes 4.5 plus an $895 transaction fee, or he doesn't take the listing. And he made $850,000 last year. And he's 28. So you can decide your own standards. You can decide your own standards based upon
Ben,
where you see yourself. Yeah.
just a heads up, it's 4:01. So can I take the last screenshot and you can talk if people want to stay? I know some people have showings to get to.
Yeah. Get ready for the screenshot so Devin can do that, and then we'll peace out till Monday.
All right. All right, ready? And everybody look up for me, please. Gracias. That didn't work as usual. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Dig into the materials, guys. Take the weekend and dig into the materials. Start with your memorization. Get serious about becoming a professional. We have a lack of professionalism in this industry. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben,
Peace.
I have one last question. Did he leave already?
I think he's gone.
I need to schedule an appointment with
Hey,
him.
did anybody start the group chat? Cause I dropped my number in there and ain't seen nothing but.
No, I just checked mine. There was like 100 unread messages. I'm like, I'm late to the party. I didn't even know.
I need to know who the admin is, who's the coordinator of this group chat, because I'm on the outside looking in. I don't like it. We gotta get this together. So who I send my request to? How I get in the circle?
Anjali.
Anjali, what's your number, Brian? I can text it to the group.
Perfect. 678
Mm-hmm.
499 3124.
678-499-3124.
Yeah. I didn't know what y'all got going on now. You don't try to leave me outside. It ain't working like that.
Me too.
I mean, do y'all have my number?
Let's see. Check it. All right. I'll see you guys Monday. Bye.
Have you guys been looking at any of those like meetup groups, like social networking meetup groups? I get a lot of emails about like, when I was doing my class, I was just kind of like just finding like different social networks to like pop in and meet people in real estate or potential buyers, potential investors. I'm not sure if any of you guys partake in any of that stuff. Do you?
No. Where are you doing that, Brian?
I think somebody it's like an app called like Meetup, and like whatever your interest is, like it could be real estate, and then you can kind of just join groups and they'll just put out information about meeting up here. Let's go to, the Battery and have, I've never been to any, but I'm gonna start like putting that on my calendar to start doing like one of those like once a week, just to kind of like expand my real estate network.
Yeah, and you
So,
in the loop on that.
for sure. I guess I'll just add it to the group chat, whatever I find. And then I guess as a group, if some of us want to just drop in and meet each other, we can do that and just, share information. I'm all for that. But as soon as I get added to the group me, I will for sure drop some nuggets in there.
Thank you.
Do you have my information for the group me?
Oh, you needed to?
I gave my number the other day. I don't know if I'm part of it.
Let me see if I can add since I'm not the admin. Let me see. I don't know how to work it, but let's see.
I can give you my number again if I need to.
Yes, Angelique's like that. Angelique, can you hear us?
Is the class over?
Yeah.
See you guys on Monday.
Wait a minute, Angelique, did you have my number?
We're skipping. What'd you say?
I said, do you have my my number for the group?
Did you send your number for your group chat? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I don't know. Send what's your number?
It's 706 399
Chicago? Girl.
706-399-0523.
0523?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's Rashida.
Yes.
And what KW are you?
Peachtree Road.
And what's your location? Like where do you specialize?
Lithonia, between Lithonia, Conyers, Covington.
Okay, east side. Okay.
East side, yeah.
All right. See y'all Monday.
All right, see y'all. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Peace.